We are now, as you may have noticed, faced with an existential threat, or maybe an emerging threat. That threat is largely coming from people who believe have lost the physical battle. Now they have migrated to the media space. So they now want to terrorize our people using the media space. And so the essence of this interaction is for us to understand these emerging threats that we're faced with as a state and as a people, and to ensure that we resist it with everything we have. You recall that during my campaign, we expressed a humongous vision. We told our people in Enugu State what we're capable of achieving in the next 4 to 8 years under our watch. We talked about growing our economy from the current levels to 30 billion. We also talked about eradicating poverty. But something we also said to them, which is very critical, is that we're going to make Enugu State the premier destination for investment. You and I know that investors are not philanthropists. They are not Father Christmas. They rely or focus on returns on investment. And we also know, even for us living here in Enugu, we know that what is going to enhance our earning power, increase our earnings, eradicate poverty, is this private sector investment. And one of the things that, or the risks that private sector does not want to accommodate is security. They understand finance risk, they understand commercial risk, but they do not want to. In fact, they can even undertake infrastructure risk, but not security. We have put in place measures to be able to protect the life and property of our people. But you know that we have a system, or perhaps something that existed over the last 18 months, which is the so-called Monday's sit at home. We came in and identified that as a major clog in the wheel of our continued growth. It affects our very existence as a people. It affects our welfare, our well-being. It also affects our psyche and the psyche of our children. It was gradually eroding our work culture, our work ethics. And indeed, it's also created this perception that we are a state that is not secure. We're a state that is not safe for investments to come in. You're here in Enugu. You've noticed that in the last couple of days, what we're dealing with now is not insecurity in the true sense of it, or insecurity in our states. What we're dealing with are people who believe that they can intimidate us, they can cow us to do what they've asked us to do, even without our consent. They tell us to sit at home when they want to, They tell us to take a break when they want to. They tell us to go to work when they want to. And of course, if we accept that, it means even the system of government that we practice, which largely depends on your will. It is your mandate, the mandate that you freely given to us, that enables us to make certain pronouncements, and you honor it because we have your consent and your mandate to do so. So imagine if we now descend to a point where someone, frankly, a murderer would sit somewhere and tell us when to go to work, we honor him. When to sit at home, we honor him. When to take a break, we honor him. It means we've lost it completely. So this is why we need to understand very well this emerging threat, and we must do everything within our powers to end it, to ensure we bring to an end. And that will depend on how we frame the narrative. Whether we're going to allow those people who peddle falsehood to prevail at the end of the day, or whether we will allow the truth and call evil what it is, condemn it in the strongest terms, because that's not who we are. We are a people that are known for our industry, known for our hard work, known for our adventure. So you see that what they are projecting us, what they are making us look like before the other parts of this country is not who we are. So I'm going to be calling on you people to, I want to rouse you up. I want you to leave here understanding the sense of duty that it's before us, why we should all take ownership of this media war. That these people now believe that it's the only way they can intimidate our people, cow our people to do their will. I mean, it's a no-brainer. How do you explain it? We're faced with a situation where even our young ones are beginning to see Mondays as an extension of the weekend, when their peers will be in classroom learning, and at the end of the day they are going to be exposed to the same external exams with these people. What is more, when they get to the labor market, the battlefield, have we thought about how the shock they are going to be exposed to, realizing that they have to now work the right or the usual working days and working hours? So the few people who are causing this havoc, creating this fear, and trying to cow us, to intimidate us, and to be afraid, and not to be productive, do not mean well for us, and can never mean well for us. They stay in a country where they work, where they go to send their kids to school, and then sit in the same country and tell us not to work. Tell us not to be productive. We cannot make Enugu State the premier destination for investment if we don't deal with this big elephant in the room, if we don't change the perception that we're not indolent people, we're not lazy people. we're hardworking people, we're productive people, and that's who we are. So not their threats, not their media intimidation would cow us. Nobody should make you inferior without your consent. Nobody that you have not given your mandate should ask you to sit at home and you sit at home when you have not elected him to do so. So I think the way we frame that, the way we project that message to our people, we go a long way to get them to understand what we're trying to gradually get ourselves into. They should take ownership of it. They should say to themselves, enough is enough. This must stop and must stop now.